Hi everybody, it's Galactic Man Larry here again, and today we have in front of us from the G.I. Joe Classified Retro line. They just call it G.I. Joe Retro. It's G.I. Joe Classified with old style vintage cards, So we have the Crimson Guard. I haven't even gotten the regular ones, but I'm glad to be getting some version of the Crimson Guard. I'm super happy to have something of the mold, and yeah, you can see they look very cool with their classic illustration there. Of course, the cards are flimsy, the same thing, they're very thin. I got this from Hasbro Pulse, 3 of these and Snake Eyes, at least one for now. So they were nicely packed in a Hasbro shipper box, so they are not so bent. But of course, these things bend just with the temperature, and if you look at them, they're already bending, And you have the file card there with very little information and a lot of languages. You have the, like Wave 2, Storm Shadow, Zartan, Snake Eyes, and the Guard. A lot of legal stuff, G.I.Joe.com, and all of the Cobra Enemy, G.I. Joe, you know these things. I don't need to describe everything. You can see his pack there with his stand, himself, sword, sheath, knife, gun, and an assault rifle with a bayonet and his kind of shield, which is cool. And so let's just take them out and see how good they actually are. And there we have our G.I. Joe Classified Series Retro line Crimson Guard. Well, 2 of them, fully equipped and posed and standing. Well, posed, they're just more like standing in a slight, well, yeah, they're posed, yeah, but in a just standing position. And using their stands, because being the first figures I opened from the retro line is the first time I have a stand on the G.I. Joe Classified Series figure. You can see I'm just taking the stand off just to show it here on the camera. Here's what you get. You get this just plain black plastic stand piece. You can see it's not like dirt, it's the way it came out of the box, or maybe, I don't know. You see the Cobra logo is stamped there. Well, it's, yeah. And you have 2 pegs, so you can perfectly stand your figure there, and they didn't fall down or something. This one is a bit cleaner. That's how they came out of the card. And there you have your figures. First of all, they come with this sheath here for the sable, or saber, actually. There you can see it has a little bit of sculpt. It has a little hole there that goes all the way through. Don't ask me why that hole is there. I don't know myself. It has a peg that can go here on the belt or here on the backpack. I think I saw it said it was like a shield, but it's a backpack actually. And here you have the sable, or the saber. Sorry, sable. I don't know. Well, because we have silver sable, yeah. So I think it's, I don't know if it's saber or sable, but this sword type thing, and it has a very nice sculpt there for the hilt. Yeah, looking good. It's nothing too complex, but not super plain. The blade, of course, painted silver, and it slides nicely into the sheath, just like this. And it actually clicks at the end. So you have your saber there. I'm still saying the wrong word, I don't know, maybe. And there you have the assault rifle with a bayonet, or with a knife, yeah. And yeah, it's a nice sculpt, I think. I don't know if it's, well, it looks nicely scaled. I don't know if it should be a bit larger or not. Shame, it would be great. Maybe I'm asking too much, also because of the thinness of the plastic here. If you could remove that knife, maybe I can, and I didn't. No, but it's all sculpted. But you can remove the clip, or the magazine, the bullet magazine clip, whatever it's called. Please let me know down in the comment section below, actually, if you know the proper name of that thing. I'm showing my weapon ignorance. I'm a bit ashamed, actually. Here you have the backpack. It has that Cobra logo on painted silver. The rest is just sculpted red plastic. The sculpt is nice, and it's like the old figures, you know. I never had a vintage original, a real American hero Crimson Guard, but I have one carded from the, you know, the early 2000s, like the updated 3.75 or 4-inch Joes. Anyway, I have one, but I never opened that either. And I think it will stay like that because now I have a Crimson Guard in the scale I'm collecting, you know. You have this gun, this side arm, as they call them. It's just sculpted in black, nothing too spectacular, but yeah, this as well as the assault rifle, they have a peg hole so you can add the fire effects. That's cool because now we're getting fire effects. And you have also this knife that goes into the belt, which is well, it's larger than some knives we have got for some other characters, but it's yeah, it's a decent one, you know. Painted silver, the plastic is black, and he can open his beers there with the can open. I don't know, it has a little sculpt there. But it's actually, if I'm right, let me see if I can make that focus for you. You can see it's like a snake head, and these very rounded things are like the fangs. Anyway, you can open your beers with that if you're a Crimson Guard. Yeah. And now the figure itself, because that's why we're here. Yeah, I'm gonna leave this guy just there because he's guarding, you know. He's Crimson and he's guarding. But this one, at least, you can see super loose here. I mean, it's not like it stays in position, but it's, yeah, I would like that to be more, to have more friction, you know. But you can see the figure. I don't have the regular one yet. I have only 2 on pre-order so far. If you know, I was getting a lot of figures and I didn't army build them. But now I'm gonna be having, when those arrive, I'll have 5. Maybe I'll open the 2 regular ones and I'll keep just the carded one that I didn't open right now. I don't know. I'll see then. But you can see the whole mask is silver, has silver for the, I mean, mostly this thing is just red, black, and silver. So that's all the colors you get with this guy. And maybe these little square insignias here, they are painted. I don't know if they're intended to be like blackish, but it's very thin, the layer of paint on that. Yeah, but anyway, that's another color because, or another shade of like very transparent black, you know. But everything is just silver. The cast is mostly red, apart from the gloves, the belt, this holster here, and the boots, and the neck. That's black plastic, but everything is otherwise it's red with silver. So you can see that Cobra logo there on the triangle. I guess these are things that were on the original figures from back in the day. Again, I didn't have one of those. We're just here to check this figure. That's what I'm trying to say. The Cobra logo is painted nicely from some angles, as you can see. Well, maybe you can see that there's some texture. Let me focus that thing on the chest. So sometimes you can see like it looks like the paint is not there, but it's actually there. Or maybe from this angle is where it didn't hit quite the surface, but looking at frontal and from this side it looks like it's totally painted. From this side it could look, I don't know if it's the shadows or, I mean, you know, the way the light is hitting it or not hitting it right now. Anyway, I mean, but it's painted silver. From some angles it could look like very, like the paint is not strong enough, or maybe it's just the lighting, maybe it's both, I don't know. This thing here is a glued piece on the shoulder, so you can move it a bit. Otherwise, just the silver here, silver for the whole chest buttons, and this line here. Of course, that insignia and everything you have seen so far. No paint at the back apart from these kind of rings on the sleeves, but that's because they go all around. No paint on the legs. The holster is paint, well, this paint on the legs, these 2 stripes at the sides, and that's it. The knees are cast, the knees and the elbows are cast in a different plastic. It's a bit maybe harder, I don't know, and it's a different shade, but I think it shows. Yeah, I think you can actually see that it's a bit purplier, a bit more burgundy, I don't know. A bit of silver on the buckles,
on the shoes and the boots. That's all the paint you get there. But yeah, now articulation wise, the head is a bit limited. Of course, it's a helmeted character, but I mean, we have many helmeted characters that do get a lot of range. But this guy, first of all, this copy, well, now it's cooperating a bit, but you know, it makes this squeaky sound, and then I put this guy in hot water because it was not super frozen, but some bits, the feet were very, yeah, not cooperating. And you can see he can turn that far before you would force things, and I won't force things because I would have to put him in hot water again and maybe remove that head, because I'm sure there's almost no clearance there, or yeah, there's no space. This head cannot move almost, you know, this helmet is so, that's all you get. Of course, with the neck you can get a bit of up and down, but yeah, it's very limited. Again, as it is a helmeted character, we can excuse that just a little bit, but no, I mean, I want these figures to be able to move quite a lot. I mean, at least till the point the sculpt really impedes, but not because they designed the connections or the articulation badly, you know. These arms, they have a little butterfly joint going backwards, just a little bit. Forward is almost nothing, so it has almost no, you know, it's super minimal. That's a bit of a shame. The elbows, the shoulders can go almost 90 degrees. You have a very flat bicep cut, and it breaks the sculpt. I don't know why they did this one. Well, it's not the first time, but yeah, I mean, you can always do it better than that, to round it up a bit so that it doesn't break the thing, that obviously, you know. You have that much of a double jointed pinless elbow bend, so it's over 90, but it could be better maybe if they yeah, I think they could just a little bit better, you know. You see where the plastic hits the plastic, and if they made that a bit yeah, less abrupt, then you would have a bit more range, I think. Both hands have a vertical swivel or vertical hinges there, so that's good because they're trigger finger hands. He doesn't come with extra hands. I mean, the guards doesn't come with extra hands. He has this sculpt here for the sleeve, but it doesn't get in the way as maybe you would think, or maybe at some poses it does, but you know. The other arm is of course the same but mirrored. You have this ab crunch, which is in both figures, at least these two copies, are not wobbly, so that's great. He has one click to the back, which gives him a, yeah, something that would be realistic of a back bend, and two clicks to the front, 1 and 2, so he can look down. Yeah, so that's a good thing. I mean, normally the Joes, they have decent articulation, you know. My figure is now frozen again, so I won't be, if you hit it, you can turn the, yeah, of course you can turn all the way around and you can wiggly and waggly, but now the weather is cold, he got cold again. I mean, the figure is already half frozen again, so maybe I have to add some oil, find some solution for this thing, because otherwise, as soon as I stop posing the figure, or one day I leave it there just standing in the shelf or somewhere, and yeah, it freezes again, and I won't be risking snapping. But you have all the range on the waist, is the same mechanism as almost, or as every Joe figure from this line. Now we have this belt is a floaty piece, so that's good, and it's a nice sculpt, I must say. I like it. The legs can do, of course, because we are talking about G.I. Joe Classified series. We have the almost, or yeah, the full splits, you know, that's great. You have red plastic pegs there, and of course he has the drop down. He of course has he gains a bit of kick with the drop down because they gave him some clearance. That's the normal kicking. With the drop down you can do, you know, you gain that much, kind of, maybe even more, but yeah. I don't use much those drop downs because I'm scared of breaking snapping the legs, you know. That's the minus for me. You can also snap a leg of a full pegged figure, yeah, sometimes quality is just that bad, but anyway. You have the thigh cut, of course, can go all the way around. You have double jointed pinless knees. They're getting frozen again. No, they were not frozen out of the box, so that's fine. But yeah, you know, it's November in Germany. Anyway, you have the legs that can kick that far, kick backwards that far. The leg itself, well, has no clearance. He has his butt shape there. Very, yeah. You have a boot cut in this cool design boot with this tip to that side. So it can turn, I don't know if all the way, not all the way because of that getting clashing with the knee, but you have enough to adjust for your posing, you know. You have a very nice ankle rocker. No, it's not the best actually, but it's a decent ankle rocker. And this is the thing, my figure was a bit hard to, well, now I have a bit of movement there, but yeah, the foot can go backwards that far, or the feet, and forwards, let's say that far before the whole sculpt clashes, you know. But yeah, it's a decent amount of articulation, just not the arms. I would like those butterflies to be more useful, because they are almost not useful at all. They have just a little bit of range, you know. But yeah, that's the articulation, and I really like having a couple of these figures for now. Let's do some size comparison. And there we have our G.I. Joe Classified Series retro line Crimson Guards next to a Cobra officer, a Cobra Viper officer, a Cobra Trooper, also representing the infantry because, you know, they're somewhat similar, and the regular Viper, next to a couple of Cobra Bats and a couple of Cobra Alley Vipers, next to Storm Shadow and a couple of Red Ninjas, and next to the Crimson Twins, Thomas and Xamot, and Cobra Commander. Well, I mean, if we are doing this, we also need to pose them next to Destro and the Baroness. And that's it for this review. Please leave a like, share and subscribe if you like this video. That helps the channel a lot. I think these figures look great. The sculpt for the arms, I mean the butterfly joints, could be, yeah, that was a bit of a wasted opportunity. I'm not a professional sculptor, so I don't know how hard this work is. Of course, I think it's something, of course, you need to be a professional, you have to learn this thing and whatever, but I don't know, if you're already sculpting a figure, make sure that everything will work as great as possible, you know. Yeah, but yeah, you have this, I mean, I think if you're collecting this line, you will be getting these guys, because what is your G.I. Joe collection without all of the Cobra troops, you know? And anyway, yeah, great figures. I highly recommend them if you get the regular version or the retro version, even whatever is easier to get. Or yeah, of course, you have different shades of red for the plastic. That's what some people have said, I think. But yeah, I like to have a couple of these ones and a couple of the others, and then I can mix them or whatever, you know. I think it's just, you can fantasize, you can use your imagination a bit. Anyway, please leave a like, share and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Take care. Ciao, ciao, ciao.